Can I ask, just we think we've heard already that Bukayo's okay after seeing the ice on his ankle, but can you just confirm that for us?
Yeah, we have to wait and see now how he reacts after the session, but yeah, it's nothing too serious.
By nothing too serious, you mean that a good chance, if you're talking percentages of involvement, if selected tomorrow night?
Yeah, if we want to, I think we will have a good chance to play tomorrow.
And with Calafiori and Jorginho, still too soon for them?
Yeah, Rick is out and Jorgi unfortunately as well, and I think Jorgi will be out for a few weeks.
Given the form you're in, some great results, obviously the good results, great results at the weekend. If you have another good performance, a good result tomorrow night, would you rather have this 6 days off, or would you prefer to keep the momentum going and the PSG game come a bit sooner?
Well, it's what we have. Let's take the opportunity. First of all, and the right to win the game tomorrow against a really good side, that they have a really good record away from home as well, and after that we'll have time to prepare the game really well.
Does that gap, that 6 days, play a part in the team that you select tomorrow night? If the games were tighter, would it be a different?
Yeah, we have more days. The amount of options that we have is not that many, especially because of where some of the players are coming and the amount of minutes that they can play. But it's good to have a little gap because we are really short in numbers.
And obviously, at the weekend you experimented midfield without Thomas Partey. Would that be something you would consider doing again, given his suspension?
Yeah, well, the reason for it was because Thomas wasn't available to start the game. At the end, we decided not even to play because he wasn't feeling particularly well. So we have some options. We have the opportunity to experiment one, but we have others as well.
And while we're on him, before we move on, can I just waste another 5 or 6 seconds by asking if there's any update on his contract situation?
On Thomas, you can waste many more minutes with Andrea if you want.
If you lose tomorrow, Liverpool win the title. Virgil van Dijk has said that all the players are going to watch it together. They might have a bit of champagne on ice just in case. Is that an incentive? Is that part of your team talk?
Our incentive is to win our game and do our best to continue with the run that we are in right now. The rest we cannot control.
Do you like a bit of housery, what we call housery?
What does that mean?
Like trying to take a bit of a sly advantage of situations so another team suffers?
If another team suffers?
Yeah.
Well, depends how you make him suffer.
A bit cheeky.
Naughty? I wouldn't describe that, no.
Because I'm just thinking, if you do lose tomorrow night,
yeah,
maybe the edge of the disappointment would be taken off, because Tottenham on Sunday would have to give a guard of honour for Liverpool.
I think you're going too far. I'm too focused on the match, I think.
Talking about guard,
yeah,
Odegaard.
Yeah.
Come on, we get it.
I'm following you, don't worry.
His numbers were great at the weekend. Given he's had a difficult season, how impressed are you with him at the moment?
Yeah, it was great. I think he was really good in the match. I think he affected the game in the way that we want, and when you look at the numbers he provided, it was exceptional. So that's the level that we need Martin.
Jack Wilshere, there's been some bad news for a manager at Norwich. It means that Jack gets a chance to step in as head coach, at least until the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
You know him well, obviously, as a coach and as a player. Are you thinking that he could do a good job?
Yeah, well, wishing the best. Obviously, if he's decided to accept the role, and with the games that are left, the same with Aaron as well. It's very, very good to see some ex-teammates taking important roles in management. So wish them the best to both of them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anita from the Premier League.
Hi. I'm going to do my best not to continue what Gary was doing there with jokes.
Okay.
But you asked about a player, Martin Odegaard. I wanted to ask about another one,
Yeah.
Gabriel Martinelli.
Okay.
50 goals for Arsenal. Of course, he got that crucial winner against Real Madrid and then involved in the goals at the weekend against Ipswich. Just, do you feel he's been a bit, I guess, overlooked, especially when you feel the role he played when the likes of Bukayo Saka was out injured?
Certainly not by us, but when you look at the consistency he's shown over the last few years, the amount of goals he scored at his age and the contribution to a big club like Arsenal is not easy at all. So I think he's in the right path. He's a fantastic player to work with. his work ethic, his understanding, his desire to play every minute of every competition. That's the kind of characters and leaders that we want in the team, and I'm very, very happy with him.
Looking ahead to the game tomorrow, Oliver Glasner now his first full season in charge at the club. Palace are currently 12th in the table and have semi-finals in the FA Cup coming up for them. How do you feel he's doing now that he's managed to adjust to the pace and what is a demanding league here?
Unbelievable job. I think what he's taking the team and the club and to be in the position they're right now, I think they fully deserve it. I think he's given the team a very clear identity. I think he's maximized the squad and the ability of that squad, and they are really tough opponent. They are really well coached. I think he's got a very clear mentality how he wants to approach games, and they are very competitive. I mean, to reach the position there on the table and where we are in the FA Cup certainly is not a coincidence, and I think they deserve it.
You said a very tough opposition, but you've beaten them home and away in the last 6 meetings, and the last meeting this season was one of the best results for the club, 5-1 in what we've seen in this campaign. What did you like in particular about that performance on Christmas Eve, I believe it was?
Well, a lot of things. I mean, to get a result like this in the Premier League, you have to do a lot of things right. We have to try to replicate those, but again, I said it's a really difficult opponent. When you look at the games and what they've done away from home, especially as well against certain opposition, impressive. So tomorrow we're going to have to be really good.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Ian, Talksport.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Listen, you've got a big game next week with Paris Saint-Germain. We saw Bukayo Saka got kicked on Sunday. Is there any temptation from you? I know mathematically you could still win the league, but it's looking very unlikely. Is there any temptation from you just to wrap everybody you desperately need for the Paris game up in cotton wool and not play them tomorrow and just relax, let them have a week?
We cannot think in those terms. I think when the players are fit and they are available and they want to play, they have to play. And they are at their best when they are playing and they have consistency in their performances. And physically they are good, emotionally they are good. Their understanding and their rhythm and the way they make decisions is at their best. And that's what we need the players. If they are not available, there's no discussion. And if they are not in good condition to perform, we're not going to play them. But if they are, we are going to play them.
But you were funny, difficult games, isn't it?
It is, and there's always a balance, and obviously you want to balance the risk and make sure that you are sensible with your decision making. But that's what we have as well, a very top staff to guide us and to tell us what we should be doing and what the risks when we do that. But unfortunately in football, you know, anything can happen, and the game starts when the game finishes to write the story of what should have happened, you know, and that's easy. So do it before.
Last one is on, you've already mentioned Jack Wilshere and Aaron Ramsey, but firstly, is your phone on if they want to ring you for advice? And secondly, I mean, we've known for Jack for ages he wants to go into management, but how many current players do you think want to go into management when they finish? Is it still something that players want to do when they finish in football, is test themselves in management, like you have?
Well, I hope so. That means that they retain that passion for the game and they want to be in different roles. It has to be management, it can be in any other role, but that means that it's something ignited within them and the game, and it's great, in my opinion. So happy to see those two doing that, and I hope that it goes really, really well for them.
Simon, Evening Standard.
Mikel, just on Jorginho, are you confident and hopeful his season isn't over?
Sorry?
Are you confident that Jorginho will be back before the end of the season?
I hope so, but I'm not certain. So we have to see how he evolves in the next few days, I would say few weeks. So the doctor was quite cautious still about talking about any dates. So let's see. Good news is that he's improving, he's feeling much better. It was a quite scary situation, and he's in a good place now.
And just on Ricardo, obviously, he's had quite a few injuries this season. I think this is the 5th spell he's had out of the team. Now, how much of a concern is that, and how much next season is there? Are there things you could do to try and prevent that? Do you think it's been bad? Like, what do you think has been the issue where he's had a quite stop-start season?
Well, 3 of the injuries, obviously there are impact injuries. One is a really bad twist that it could have been worse, to be fair, and he's managing the player as well. So now we learn many more things about the player and how we can be much more on top of certain situations to try to prevent them. but it's true that the two main ones, they've been really unlucky and very little that we could have done differently.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Just another on Jack and Aaron. I was wondering, because I think they're managing against each other on the final day of the season. I think with Jack, you've probably seen that progression as a coach here, but with Aaron, was it something that surprised you when you saw the news about him taking charge as interim?
Well, yes, because I don't have the close contact like I have with Jack, and I was very clear with Jack's intentions, but with Aaron, no. And it doesn't surprise me because obviously with his experience, where he's been and what he's done in the game, if he wants to, he's able to do it. We all have different characters, and he's decided to do it. Very brave decision.
I think a lot of people within football talk about kind of disciples of managers. So people talk about yourself, Xavi, Vincent Company as like Pep. But with Arsene, can you kind of see that now with yourself, Jack and Aaron?
Well, hopefully, yeah. I think Arsene should be very proud that he had 3 players under him that I think he inspired and he helped us to ignite again this love for the game that we want to continue what he did in the past.
And can I just ask something about corners? Because I noticed against Brentford there are a lot of short corners and you've scored from 2 at the weekend against Ipswich. So I was just wondering, was there like a reason for, I guess, more variation in these last couple of weeks? Because yeah, it felt like a very kind of quick change.
Yes, I mean, when the team adapts to do something, the weaknesses will be somewhere else, and that's our job to try to analyze that and exploit it as good as we can.
Okay, last couple in the live section. First, to Nick at the back.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
I'm going to ask you about Miles Lewis-Skelly.
Yeah.
A lot of us thought he'd be a midfielder. He's played so well on the left side of the defence. Is that now his best position for the rest of his career?
I wouldn't go that far. I think for now and what he's providing to the team and the needs that we have and the role that we asked to that fullback, probably yes. But yeah, he stepped in midfield the other day and he looked very, very comfortable. It's what he's played his whole career, and he's good. Another player that can play different positions at the highest level, so very good news.
And when you were talking about experimenting with replacements for, for Thomas,
yeah.
Could he be one of those players who fits into that role?
Yeah, he can play as an 8, he can play as a 6. He's played there before many times, and he has the qualities to do that. Yeah.
And finally to Phil.
Hi, Mikel. Just
Hi.
Going back to Bukayo. Obviously, he's been so impressive, hasn't he, since his return. Has he surprised you at all how quickly he's got up to speed?
That's what you are hoping for, and the way he's prepared, he was giving good signs that he could impact the game like he normally does, but obviously to be playing at that level after missing 3.5 months is not easy at all, so credit to him and all the staff that work with him.
And just on his future, obviously, 2 years left, but would you like to see that new deal signed this summer?
With who?
With Bukayo, his new deal signed this summer?
Yeah, when the time comes, and we will have those conversations, and I'm sure the club is very on top of it. I think Bukayo has been very clear what his intentions are as well, so I think everything is in the right place.
Okay, that finishes